Oh, wait, Boogie, you need to get back on the mic. Get back in the headset because they're in game.
Look at them. They're in the plane, boys. All right, let us know what happens.
It's time to get serious. It's time to get swifty. It's time for match number 1 for the PGL Spring Invitational. Here we go. Cammy, this one's going to be pretty good. We don't necessarily hear ourselves, but does it really matter?
No, that's fine because we can still watch the action. And this actually is a very nice plane to start us off. Groovy especially are going to be very happy with this. They'll be going immediately down into Primorsk. You'll loot up effectively, loot up from the very beginning. They'll be ready by the time the first circle really starts. Space Station Gaming heading out in Ferry Pier. OMG, I believe OMG are going to military base. They're a little bit of an unknown for us on this side.
Yeah, that is correct, and we'll have to see how it pans out. In the meantime, well, we're going to be going into it to see. Actually, I'm curious to know where TSM goes, because FaZe is going to be heading toward. No, it's actually going to go straight to Milta Power. They're going to be heading towards that direction, indeed. So that means that TSM might be going on to the north side and do the trash Yaz, which they are going to do. MVP is going to be the only one that we see in Yasnaya. In the meantime, we see a bit of a split, as we've been pointed out by Lothar here. Showing us that Entasis are doing a very large split. What is that all about?
I don't know. I don't exactly know what caused them to try to do that split. It could be hedging their bets, just trying to loot up at separate spots. It's possible that they weren't able to find a comfortable spot for the entire 4 of them to loot up with enough gear. So they could be. We're going to see how this plays out in the rest of the competition, but they could just be splitting 2-2, just because they've been able to find 2 small pockets of loot spots for perhaps duos to run in through. FaZe and LGD both dropping right now in power. BGN looks like he's alone right now, so he could be going up against Fuzzface and Jempty. Those are 2 players you don't want to have a 1v2 versus. This could be a little risky for him, but of course it all depends on who finds the guns the fastest. And this first circle, though, is going to be very nice to both of them. It's going to be nice to most teams, because we were talking about how it is quite stacked on the eastern side. Most teams, as you can see, are already inside the first circle. Sunsister, they are traveling up to Severny. They were landing a little late into their loot spot, but they're going to be pretty clean if they come back, especially if they want to swing around the Stalber side. Depends on if they want to go through Yasnaya or Kameshi on their route into the circle. It is an option for them either way. Yasnaya, obviously, the shorter path, but perhaps more congestion there. Yeah.
And there you go with that circle. Indeed, you are correct. It's going to be quite an easy one as well for most of the teams, it feels like. I don't know how Kingwin are going to be penetrating that one. Usually when it is a all-eastern circle, they try and enter from the north side there. In the meantime, here goes some action. Vis is going to be taking some pod shots. Someone trying to come past him. Vis seems to have been left alone in Lepavka with LGD pushing in late. So there you go. We were actually wondering what's going to happen with FaZe versus LGD.
They pushed LGD out.
This is our answer.
Yeah, they pushed LGD out, it seems. Vis, luckily for him, does have a bike to ride on. And you can see, unfortunately, Snake actually taking the first casualty. Larson the one to get that picture. So the first 20 points of the game are going in towards Kingwin.
Woo! Here we go, baby.
Very nice hold.
Well, actually, that's not too bad at all. Vis, in the meantime, is going to be copping himself a decent-ish compound. And the only problem with that compound there that he's in right now is the fact that he can be easily reached in from the, let me think about this, from the northeast side, from the southeast side. No, northeast to southeast. There's a tree line there that can potentially ruin your day. And inside those yellows, actually, inside the yellow that is closest to that side, you cannot peek on that end, because there's kind of like a barred window type of window, so you can't necessarily see out of it. But I don't think there's anybody that's going to be contesting that spot in particular. So they're going to be quite okay with where they are for the moment, as it seems.
Whoa, wait a second. Is Papaya right on top of a member of E United? Yeah, they're actually
right under.
Oh, Papaya looked like he landed the shots, but nope, it's going to be Geis with the drop and the full-on kill. So he does claim victory of Shelter. Able to heal up as well, grab a couple more meds off of that area. Shelter is a very interesting spot. It is a little bit of an investment to loot it, because you have to commit to going all the way down. And the problem is there's not a lot of loot for more than one person, so it is quite risky. You can also get camped on the exits. We saw that happen to a lot of other teams previously who used to loot Shelter.
Yeah, that is correct. It's not the easiest place to be. It is definitely not the easiest place to loot, and it's not the easiest place to leave.
Yeah.
You can get blocked from shelters. You don't know this in competitive, what the boys do normally. Well, in shelters, you have 3 exits, so it's a bit harder to do that. But you can also block all 3 exits with a UAZ and burn it down, and that's pretty much it for everybody that's in there.
You don't usually Yes, you don't expect to see that at the very beginning. Most camps you see is mostly just someone holding a line under there, waiting for someone to exit, take an unexpected bullet to the head. But yeah, if it does end late game, you also can do that with the shelter entrances. Not just that shelter, the other sheltered tunnels as well, scattered around the
TSM
map.
first circle closing in. They're all alive.
Is that uncommon?
That is not uncommon. I'm just saying it's a good thing that they can hang out. They can perfectly, maybe come close to one another this time around and get themselves a chance at this, man.
Yeah, we do.
Would love to see TSM get up there.
So yeah, we do actually have a free moment right now that I can talk about TSM briefly. They have been struggling in recent competitions, and talking to them personally, they are not happy with their performance. They did have a little bit of a roster swap setup. They dropped APR from the starting lineup, and they subbed in Rory, or I guess Foley brought in Rory as the starting lineup. The other question is, how much is that really going to change, because the same shot caller is still there, in Vis, I believe, and the general game plan is still there. The question is one member really going to change a lot? But that being said, looking at scrims, they have actually looked pretty good. Again, I'm going to reiterate, scrims is not indicative of what's going to happen in the actual competition. They are still dropping in Mansion, so that is something that they are carrying over from IEM as well as Starladder. But they have been looking better, and so my eyes are going to, one of my 16 eyes is definitely going to be on them to see if they can continue to.
What are your how many eyes?
16.
You got 16 eyes, bro?
2.
Oh.
2 eyes. Who has 16 eyes? What? That's
I don't know, that's what you said.
No. It's just 2, man.
All right, bro. Let's get into it. Let's see now. TSM still split up. Now, this time they're going to be grouping up. It looks like Viz has a teammate close to him. This is a good thing. I like to see him group up a bit earlier. This was what was hurting them earlier on. In the meantime, Mikroy gets absolutely bodied by Pajama Inota, which is a top-notch fragger from the Russian team. Gurobi is an absolute monster, that guy. I promise. Looks like the rest of Ghost not anywhere close to him. He's trying to make his rotation south of Pachinki, while his teammates are pretty close to, northwest Milta, should we say?
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
North of Farm.
That's a very good pickup, actually, because Ghost, we were talking about that earlier on the desk, is how they have the potential to really frag out with the new roster that they have, bringing in Bollock and Turtle. They have the firepower to really take over this entire game. And so the fact that they already lost a member very, very early, one of the first 3-4 members. Ooh, Christus gets dropped down. Groovy with another kill. They've been just catching people in transitions this whole time. And
that's the grubby kind of way of playing. They've a very similar play style, and they remind me as well of a different Russian team called Avangar, which I've been playing in the lands before. And Olektiv actually is one of them.
Actually,
so we're actually asking, if you're curious to know what Olektiv's deal is with Grubby, he's not full roster. He was saying that one of the guys from the Russian team couldn't get the visa in time, so they had to find Olektiv in the meantime, just as a replacement. They're good friends, these two teams. They're good friends with one another. So this was their solution. And it's not a bad solution at all. Olektiv is an absolute legend himself, so this should pan out nicely. But yeah, Grubby's playstyle reminds me of the typical Russian PUBG Pro style, which is playing on the outside, clearing the compounds, and then exiting them. They don't like to keep houses. They like to keep outside. They want to clear their angles left and right. When they enter the next circle, they want to make sure that there's no enemies close to them. That's why their aggression could come out on top. You know what I mean? Because people were calling out Ghosts. We were calling out FaZe. Well, you called out FaZe. And, I'm with you there, because I'm a co-cast boy.
They are
Grubby
a universal constant phase. No, absolutely. I was talking to Grubby, and one of the things that they were saying, their biggest weakness is just car rotations. They don't like playing in cars. They much prefer to be on foot. But you have to have cars for the first couple of circles. They were saying that they can take over games if they end with all 4 people alive in the 3rd or 4th circle. But looking at this right now, D-Master actually get a number of shots onto Grubby. They could be losing someone in transition, but it looks like they are going to be safe for now. They get to the edge of the hill of Potato Mountain, as you still like to call it. So they are going to stay safe for now, so they do still have all 4 alive. First circle is halfway through closing in. Not a lot of action so far. We did see a couple of early kills, but naturally we do expect to see a couple of teams, most teams actually, be a little more on the shy side while they kind of get comfortable with these other teams that they're playing with.
Yeah, exactly. There's no need for any kind of aggression in this first circle. You don't necessarily need to center it up. If you are currently in the center, here's the thing, because it's an Eastern circle, there's teams like TSM, there's teams like FaZe or Vitality that already have that. So all these other teams that are coming in, there you go, you can see United are actually getting themselves a nice piece of the pie there. Vitality have, well, as they do move in late anyway. FaZe are still moving in late now to try and find something in the middle there. interestingly enough, all these teams, even with the circle strain on them, they didn't necessarily opt for an early move. We know Vitality to be a a slower moving team.
Yeah.
Their timings is, we'll have to see if it worked this time around, because in the previous events, it wasn't the best. FaZe as well, with a kind of late-ish moving team, they usually move in a bit earlier than Vitality, but still, they haven't gone center circle. That's a bit strange to me.
Well,
and it shows you how powerful these new circles are and how you can play on the edge.
Yeah, exactly. But it also just shows that these teams, they've played enough scrims that they know more or less where everyone is around. They are aware they have the pressure from TSM, LGD, EU United, everyone just hanging out in the center of the circle. So even if they wanted to, even if they were able to loot up very, very quick, it's not going to be as much of an option for these teams like FaZe or Vitality to go center circle because there's already somebody there. This is a very nice compound from TSM, though. This is probably one of the stronger compounds in this area because of the high ground area around it. They can see basically 360 around them and put a lot of pressure. They're quite close to EU United, as you can see in the center of the minimap. And so we actually saw them take some shots at them earlier, keeping EU United a little pinned down. A decent split that they have played out. No, that's not EU United. That's actually Kangwin that's doing the split. Sorry, 12-2 in the similar colors.
Yeah.
Whatever. Either way.
Well, they're known to do that, right, Kingwin?
Yes.
They're a team that does the split. They're a team that does the split smartly. When they split for circles, they usually split having visibility from one team to the other. They do a 2+2 generally. They can do a 3+1 as well at times. They can do a 3+1+1, but those ones don't ever pan out. Every single time I watch Kingwin, those 3+1+1s, or sorry, 2+1+1s never work out for them. So this time around, they're going to be doing that 2+2 classically, and they will have visibility from one team to the other. And more importantly, they will have an easier transition if the circle fades away from one of the two teams. That's the reason why they do these splits. In the meantime, FaZe taking Rockside onto Prison will be finding themselves in a very happy place there. LGD is kind of close to them, but this is not going to be a battle. There's no need for it to be a battle at all. FaZe might hear them. Might hear some shots from that
I expect
perspective.
FaZe.
LGD are looking at the mini-map there. Everybody was looking where FaZe stopped. So now they're actually pointed their guns in that direction.
Yeah.
This might be some back and forth. We'll find out.
It's a nice 8x that he picked up as well.
Yep.
Oftentimes when you see a little bit of a standoff in that part of the map, you do see shots fired. And this is actually very strong for FaZe right now because they can even gatekeep LGD. LGD have been getting no love this game. This circle is going to be centering on MVP, EU United, and Tainted Minds, actually a little bit of a triangle around the center. And that's actually a hill and dead center. So if anyone wants to rush and grab that, it could be quite impactful. Not that defensible because it is a hill. It's not hard cover like a building is. Let's pop over to King right now. They're taking shots onto FaZe who are on a quick rotation. They don't want to stay on the edge like they had the option to. They want to go directly into a more central position to allow them to take more control of the map. They are able to do it safely. Kingwin not close enough to be able to reasonably land every single one of their shots from those rifles. Their
timing is very interesting at this position. We'll have to see how FaZe plan this out, because it looks like Haxeti's going to be forced to go back somewhere. Perhaps he was sent in as a scout. No, actually, Fuzzface and Yempty already have Big Blue, as we would normally call it, whilst their enemies, Kingwin, will be taking the shelter area there.
I wonder where the other
I wonder where Haxeti, I wonder where Haxeti has gone here. Maybe we can have a look here and see where is FaZe Haxeti. That would be good to find out.
No, they're still there. They're still on the edge. They're still on the hill that they were before. They're doing a little bit of a 2-2 split. This is quite far of a split, so if it does end up getting punished by Kingwin specifically, could be low. No, so they're on the move. They don't exactly know why they stuck around, why they're a little late on the move. It could be to stagger out the rotations, just in case one of them got sprayed down. They could leave everyone else alive, but now they're rotating around a little bit. Don't exactly know where they're going. Perhaps onto that hill. United are in what I believe is called Alamo by a couple other people. So that's not a spot to take. An Alamo warehouse split is powerful, but Hexede and Mixie are just going to be arriving at Big Blue, all for their alive to give some control. Now, that being said, the split obviously is the preferred method of holding this area of the map, but having all four alive in this area is still strong because you can see with the big, wide open doors on the sides, you can actually get a fair bit of vision, particularly on the east and west of that building, and be able to put a lot of pressure on the map around you. Vegas right now from United looks like they're taking some shots, but no, it's actually from the other angle that they're taking some pressure. I believe that's Groovy coming in onto the position. Yes, it is indeed Tony V having to wrap up, and he's actually separated from his teammates. I don't know if that was because he stopped mid-rotation, but Groovy now playing in this dip, taking a lot of shots from other angles as well. It's another team onto their southeast. You can see on the minimap, take a couple of shots at them as well as directly far to the north. It's possibly teammates from Tony V that's trying to help him out.
Yep.
And Tony V actually has eyes on Kingwin, so this is a little bit of a 3-4 team fight. It's nothing too huge right now. A lot of it's mostly just going to be pokes at each other, just trying to find some knocks. You're not going to get any full kills at this point unless for some reason they bleed out. Some long-range shots. That would look like almost hit, but unfortunately it wasn't going to exactly find his mark. Vegas needs to make sure that he's not overcommitting to this either.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful here. It looks like Grubby's going to be holding on to their usual spot. It's a good dip to be in here, actually, Cammy. It's not a bad place to be in here, but they're a bit open to their north. And as you see here, they're going to have to go aggressive into taking those shots. They don't want any kind of other team stuck on that spot there. Whilst it looks like Tony V, well, I don't think he's going to get out alive later on, unless his team comes out to help him out.
It's a rough spot.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much dead.
That being said, if they're aware of that, if they basically say, oh, you know what, you're screwed, that's fine. But stick around there, see if you can't deal damage to anyone in rotation, or even just delay their rotation to allow E United to have priority on another rotation that they're doing, or just to maintain control. The other 3 members of E United, if they stay together and stay alive, throwing away Tony V like this, it's actually not a bad use of resources, particularly considering that he has no choice but to be in this position anyway.
Yeah, looks like it.
He's not moving. He really isn't moving unless Kingwin and Groovy both leave him be, which is very unlikely gonna happen. He could leave a position at that point, but anyway. So the circle does close in. We are going to get our third. It's directly on top of Kingwin and FaZe, so Kingwin's not moving. MVP are on a quick rotation moving in, but they're getting a little close to a couple of other teams. This could be quite dangerous for them. Stopping on a hill before they get too far, and it's a nice central position for them to grab. The real question is, where are these teams from the outside going to go? We still have 16 teams alive, only 4 deaths so far. This is a very, very low kill count for this stage in the game, but that means that the kills are really going to start lighting up because the size of the map is going to get too small to allow everyone to exist next to each other. It's a drop actually immediately onto Kingwin itself.
Seems to be that way indeed. Tony's still caught in that place. How is he going to get out here? Grubby's on one side. It's going to be MVP on the other side. I don't think he will ever get out. In the meantime, Kingwin get themselves knocked out. Not a good moment to be alive, of course, if you're from EU still. I don't know. Kingwin going to get the res safely, so it seems like you're not going to be a problem for them to actually get themselves back up. In the meantime, OMG in a transitionary, normally it's a transitionary spot. This little crest, that little dip on that side of the hill there. Is a transitioning place where you can scout out further down towards the hills that are on your east. This time around for OMG, it looks to be quite a safe zone, well, kind of-ish, as they will park their Dachas and their UAZs in this little dip here, trying to stay alive. This is exactly why it's a transitionary spot, Cammy.
Yeah.
Because whilst you have good visibility towards the east, you can get dinked down from that same spot, so you can't really stay there for too long. Yeah,
Vitality actually already taken a lot of shots in their position. These vehicles, it's possible they could take a lot of damage, especially if Kingwin also peeks out the area. Ghost could be looking behind them. You can see Shiv's angle right now on that with an 8x on an M4. He's in a good prime spot to deal a lot, get rid of those tires if anything, but also potentially knock off some helmets, get a couple of chest shots, deal some damage, if not a full knock. Again, doubtful he's going to get a full kill, but a down is always useful no matter what. It's a use of resources, or I guess a detraction of resources from the enemy team.
Shiv now, with the rest of his team, actually, it's good to see Vitality doing good.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. If you guys haven't watched the previous tournaments, what the main problem with this team in particular is their transition, their timings, their transfers to the new circles are a bit difficult. Now you can see they're going to be scouting around to where they want to go later on into the game, and they're hoping to find themselves some easy frags. Shot comes in by Shiv, but it won't connect necessarily. 7.62 bullets. They got a long travel time.
Yeah.
So
but they pack a punch. That's the thing.
They do pack a punch. If you do hit,
you can land them, yeah.
If you do hit with that 82 headshot level 1, you're really going to get some damage done in there. But this time around, it's not going to be that easy. Let's just slap an 8x on top of an AK isn't the easiest things in the world. Yeah. Although Vitality, if there is a team, Vitality I think is the team that could potentially do that. I remember APR actually was the one that always got the AK from TSM when he was playing. And he was very, very able with it.
Yeah. The AK, I think, is... Yes, so there's really no way to argue that it's the best rifle out there, but I do think that it is underutilized and underappreciated. The first couple of shots are still accurate, it deals a lot more damage, sure, in close range, especially when the bullet travel time isn't that important. It can pack a punch. Some people do jokingly call it the best SMG in the game, which I think is a fair statement to make. But it's almost like a car 98, a little weaker of one if you want to take those long range shots with the long bullet travel time. Sunsister now actually a little bit of a stare down with TSM, both playing on ridges they can hide behind, and they're also on the edge of the circle. They're both inside. Circle's closing right now, so in just a couple of moments, we are going to be seeing where the next circle goes. A little bit of a drum roll. And pretty much center, a little bit south, directly onto Ghost Kingwin and FaZe. Once again, still inside. Ghost's position right now, I think, is actually the best in the game. Not only is it central, it's on top of a hill that they can gain good information and good pressure around them. The three of them still alive. Because there's only 3 of them alive at this point, we did see, I believe, McCoy drop earlier in the game. They can't employ too much of a split. But that nice ridge that you can see actually climbing on top of shelter will give them good vision around them.
It will indeed. Let's see if it works out to them. Or to their own. We'll find out. In the meantime, it's going to be Ghost Gaming taking some shots. Looks like they've set themselves in a very good position. In the meantime, it's going to be one person trying to rotate inside. But, oh! Gaxi catches him off guard. Car explosion as well. Brovi can just sit back and watch this one as it happens. And it's, well, he's got front row seats to the main fireworks.
Main show.
Yeah, that's it, man. But that also is going to be telling Ghost Gaming that Kingwin have taken the compound that they could potentially go towards. They can play shelters without any kind of care in the world. Vitality is going to be coming in from their south, of course. All right. We'll see if that one will be working out or not.
OMG have to move. They already sent their scout out who, as you saw, just got absolutely blown up by King when they're still, at this point, 59 alive. That's a lot of people to move through, but OMG, I mean, they're in the circle, but we were talking earlier how it's not that great of a spot. MVP now, though, actually catching a lot of players out in transition. Sunsister, Gabba getting dropped out as well. That means the rest of the team has got to move away. Actually, I believe Sunsister were sticking out in that little hut. They have no other option. They got caught on transition. You can see all these other cars moving in as well. So MVP are in a really good position right now to get a lot of kills. They're going to be fighting with other teams as well, trying to do the same thing, snake snapping just to the north of that hill. Sunsister, though, they're in a very bad spot. Easily pushed by MVP if they want to commit to that. There are a lot of vehicles moving around, and so MVP, they don't want to commit too heavily just yet. They could get caught out from behind, a little bit in the butt, so to speak. They want to commit heavily, but they do still have Sunsister pinned. Yeah,
Snake is going to be transitioning as well. They're going to be transitioning to a very difficult spot because Grubby is just on the other side of that little hill. We'll see if they stay alive for too long here. Well, I think it's going to be Grubby that actually have the slight upper hand, even though Snake could potentially peek in whenever they want.
Ooh, Crazy Tam taking a lot of damage, tossing a nade out. That's actually good. If it landed on MVP, could do a lot of damage. He's actually shot from elsewhere. Don't know exactly what took him down. He is going to get revived, but that was a nice nade. It looks like it took out a member of MVP in the meantime, so they are still dealing some damage, keeping MVP pinned and a little more hesitant to go on the full push. I believe it was actually Tainted Minds or perhaps FaZe that got the drop, because it seems that there was an angle from that hut into Big Blue, or in that direction that you can see Tainted Minds and FaZe both hanging out in. Still 50 alive at this part of the circle. This is huge. There is a fight now, though, between TSM and LGD, with E United also chiming in, trying to throw their own bullets out as well. Secret taking a lot of damage, too, as you can see on the minimap. And actually, Fiend, I believe he's the only one left, and Vitality still have an angle, because that is the spot that OMG just left from. But LG right now versus TSM. TSM are pinned down. This is going to be a huge nade if it can connect.
Oh, that one's going to be blowing up. That one's going to be making some fireworks happen. And the flush comes in. TGW will absolutely come in as the plumber here as Matt goes down. It's going to be TGW that falls in the hands of Vis as well. In the meantime, frags happen left and right. It looks like Drake has fallen down himself. There's just one guy left from LGD. It looks like it's Bogunyao. Gonna have to fend off the dangerous Vis. Can you see Vis? Bogunyao. He's gonna have to peek on the side there. Can he see him? Can he not? Rory's just on the other side. Let's see if they're gonna be able to catch him off guard. It's gonna be Bogunyao still alive. He knows where Vis is as well. He's gonna be holding on to that angle there, but oh, Bogunyao goes in for the first aid kit. Vis is gonna be going in fast around the chasm for the first aid kit happens, and Vis comes through with the clutch, and he's gonna be the one that stays alive in a super hard duel. But 14 teams, 41 alive, and he's super far away from the circle.
I believe Secret were the first ones to go out. We saw Fiend, I believe the last member, he just got taken out while this fight happened. LGD coming out in second to last, but TSM, the only one remaining, sorry, Vis, the only one remaining from TSM, is in a really bad spot because that circle is on the opposite side of the previous circle. He's got a lot to move. Crazy Sam getting taken out once again by O-Tan. MVP keeping Sunsister pinned. And neither of them are in the circle, though, so MVP, they either have to push in on this immediately or just leave him behind. But Siege, he's going in on the push. Gonna toss a nade directly in, and this is gonna be huge. It forces him out. And that is gonna be Sabrek going down. Sun Sister all taken out, going out in 14th place, but they still have to move, and Kingwin taking a lot of shots on them. It's gonna be difficult for MVP to get out of here safely. Ghost taking some shots on the east side as well, and no one really dead center of this next circle. It's a big, giant open field, but Kingwin with a very, very strong position. They're in a compound on the north side. They can gatekeep everyone coming in from the north and also put pressure on everyone else on the current circle as well. Vitality as well coming in from the south side, southeast more specifically, closer to shelter as well, on the opposite side of shelter as Ghosts are in a good position to instill all four alive. Ballet from Snake popping in, has to stay in the blue just to keep his rotation safe, staying out of the fire from Groovy. Coming down south, but could potentially be going into OMG. No, they're stopping actually on this ridge. There is a car explosion. It's going to drop out TC66, and Peaches going for more. Gets another headshot, drops another player. CE United also falling as well. Vis actually dropping down Vegas, so his fights happening all across the map. As you can see on the mini-map, this is just brutal everywhere. This is what happens when deaths don't happen in the early game. Ballet only went alive from Snake. Wayne crawling towards him to get the revive, and Groovy, they're going to be getting the revive as well, staying 4 strong.
And just a bit of an aid there would pretty much deal with any of these two teams. Let's see if Grubby's going to be the first one to throw them, because Grubby have necessarily the best nades in the game. We used to call them pentanades because the old Penta roster used to kill at it.
Yeah.
But this time around, Pajama Inada can really have a strong pro in hand. We'll see if he actually goes for that nade or not. In the meantime, looks like Tony V is still alive with the circle on him here, but I don't know if it's going to be there for long enough. It looks like he's at the northwest edge of it. Shade is going to be holding on to that spot there, just making sure that nobody's coming in from that Love Shack. In the meantime, FaZe have tried to breach a spot where MVP is and Kingwin as well. This was the compound where Kingwin took early on. In the meantime, Fuzzface and Pussy has been knocked out. Actually, it's going to be Haxed, the last one stayed alive from Team FaZe. This is very dangerous. 11 teams alive, and they might get eliminated here. Fuzzface will die at the hands of some people. Yeah. And, well, that is not a good way to start the game for FaZe.
Ooh, nade blows up the door. Oh. That is going to limit Ford's options. And I think they just barely missed each other. Oh, through the window. Oh, what a headshot from Haxede. Dropping Bard down. And so they are going to be able to, there's only one player left from FaZe. He is going to be able to take control of that house. No revive possible from Kingwin, but there are still 3 members left, so they aren't that much worse for wear. Ryuku, though, staying outside just to be a little bit of a more swing position. Waiting for the potential push from MVP, or perhaps Haxede sneaking around the side wall. Ping rushing in right now, entering for MVP. Now they're going around the outside wall, jumping over just to check no one's hiding in that corner. But they have to move because neither of them are in the circle, and it's only 25 seconds until the next move moves in, and it's a 3-way fight.
Yeah. I think Kingwood might just come out on top because just sheer manpower. But as soon as they move out, they're going to get spotted themselves by Ghost Gaming. So whatever they do, they're in a bit of a bad spot. Let's see if this one pans out for them. In the meantime, Haxede is going to be holding on to the rooftop there. MVP knows where they are. Kingwin potentially doesn't know where Haxede is at this moment in time. So that could be Haxede's saving grace. Larson falls down. Hands of MVP. Let's see if Galaxy or Miracle are going to be able to stay alive for too long here. It looks like a res is going to be happening here. The circle is strangling in. So they're going to have to go for a fast res. And as soon as that happens there, Larson, I don't know if he's going to, he will have barely time for a first aid kit. But as he does that, his teammates are going to have to clear the angles there against MVP. MVP is getting now shot, of course, by, I think it will be Ghost Gaming. Yeah. Miracle, in the meantime, found himself a good spot there. He's going to be hiding behind the UAZ. MVP haven't spotted him. Oh, now they're going to be taking some shots at him. He's in the car. No, get out of that one. Stay alive. Ooh, in the meantime, a car blows up behind Siege. There's going to be a smoke thrown towards TSM, but Ghost is not actually going to be too bothered with that one there. That smoke is definitely not tall enough. In the meantime, everybody else from Kingwood gets their way inside.
Tony V!
It's just going to be Gaxi himself that stays alive. Tony V comes in through the backside and does the dirty deed to remove Kingwood from the map.
What did I tell you?
What a legend of a man. He stays alive in this Love Boy shack there. Grubby completely ignore him. They make their transition, and Tony V comes out and wrecks Kingwood in the face.
I believe the rest of EU United are dead, so unfortunately that was just the, I guess, well, I can't think of an analogy to draw to, but nonetheless, the final word, the final closing curtain on him, but what an ending to his team, going out, I believe, 7th, and now MVP fall out in 6th. We were in the top 5. Haxede is still alive. FaZe are still top 5, as always, even with Mon alive, he is in the blue, and actually Turtle is watching this angle just in case. But Haxede, he has no choice but to stick onto the heels. Moving, he can only move a couple of feet at a time before he needs to pop another first aid kit. And I believe this is his last one. And so he is hoping that someone falls, another team falls, to allow him to get 4th. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Actually, no, he did. He does get 4th because Groovy gets taken out by Vitality. Hexede lasting so long. And Vis, also need to mention, is also still alive. Hexede does get a drop on the turtle before he falls to the play zone. So still dealing damage right before he goes into the grave.
Mm-hmm.
But look at Vis inside the shelter.
Yeah, he's going to have to come out. And it's not an easy task for him to come out of the closet shelter. We'll have to see how it works for him. It actually looks like Vitality are going to have to give up on this for the moment here, it seems. And they're going to be grouped up in a fight against Ghost Gaming. They're going to be making some noise here with that nade and with this Dacia. They're going to be trying to block off any kind of exit. Shadow's going to have to go on to control 4. Exit there, no problem at all. They're going to blow that car up, and that's going to be pretty much the end of Vis. If he chooses to exit through that spot, oh, Vis might be waiting on that edge because he thinks that that's the safest way out. But he might have heard the Dacia now. He knows that this might be his tomb, as it were. This could be it.
Making sure to check his corners just in case anyone else is hiding out in shelter. But that is not going to be the case. Vitality and Ghost both playing the upper ground. They both have a lot of members alive. Vitality with all 4. Ghost still with 3. They were able to get that revive up from the person who got dropped by Hexede. And Bollock, you can see he's actually, I believe, looting up perhaps members of Kingwin. But here comes the fight down. Ghost and Vitality have spotted each other out. Turtle and Profi taking a lot of shots at them. Turtle pushing up close, trying to get a more close angle and take a more central position in this circle. Vitality, they're playing on the edge, but they have 4 alive, and so they could easily spread out and comb through.
Yep. We'll see how it works out. In the meantime, Turtle's going to be holding on to the same spot there. It's going to be Vis that still is in the shelter. In the meantime, Vitality, as 4s, they're going to be taking on this battle. Technically, they have the upper hand into this one here because they can trade frag for frag and still have 1 alive. We'll see how it works out. A nade could change everything at this moment in time. Vis, you can see him just kind of running, it's like crouching around the tunnel. He doesn't necessarily seem to want to move too much. Vitality in the meantime might have spotted their enemies. That Dacia is going to be blown up. No, that was the shots against the Dacia. But they do know where Ghost Gaming is playing for him. So Raxi's going to be holding on to that spot. Monkey and Shiv are going to be holding on to the same. And it does look like Vis, well, he might come out and give Ghost a surprise. Is there an exit onto that side? I think there is.
He's taking a little bit of damage from the blue.
Oh,
it's not a linear
this could be crazy.
He does find an exit, yeah, coming in from the side. He could run into Ghost. Balix is actually going in that direction.
He's going to do that. That's his exit. This is the only clean way out. He heard the Dacia. Vis is so smart. He goes in through the only way that he can actually go out from. Playing the edge of the blow just barely so. You can see him get in there. He takes a ton of damage, but he doesn't get himself hurt. And now he can play a quiet game.
Bollock spotted him, I think.
Yep.
He heard a couple of shots go in that direction.
Yep. He took some damage. Well, actually didn't take damage himself, but that also gives the information away from Vitality to go into it. That name might connect beautifully so. Let's see if it does indeed. Vis doesn't seem too bothered by it. Shadow, though, takes him down, and that's it. It's going to be Vitality versus Ghost. Which one's going to be coming out on top? 4 versus 3 type of situation. 2 teams left alive here. One of them can come out. Raxi jumping around there, spots his enemy Balak, but doesn't look to his left where Turtle and Profi might attack him from. Raxi, though, smartly peeking from the right side of a rock there, making sure that his left side is not seen now. That shot comes in. This is a beautiful overview to show you guys how close these teams are to one another. And Turtle here could be absolutely massive.
I don't know if Vitality saw Turtle run up or actually is the first one going to drop down by Profi, making this a 3v3 unless the revive comes through. Monkey trying to take his shots over onto Profi, hoping his head peeks up into the bullet.
Look where Shadow is. Shadow's going to be playing on the side flank there. It's going to be... Oh, how can he not see Turtle? He has no idea Turtle is just on the other side of the tree. He's got absolutely no clue. He's too busy with Balak a bit too further down the road. He cannot get it. He spot his legs. This is crazy. This is madness.
Actually, the gun that's blocking the vision.
X is off now. We can see the way that they actually see the game there. Actually, there is a bit of a stub on that tree that he cannot see through. Oh, this is absolute madness. But Profi and Balak are going to have to push in. Turtle might become instrumental. There you go. He's perfectly prone in there. Actually, it's going to be Raxi that might get the rest from Shiv. We'll see if that one happens indeed. In the meantime, it's going to be Shadow. On the other side is Monkey, trying to fend off any kind of an attack coming in from Ghost Gaming. And the attack might come onto it now because the circle is trying to get there. Oh, here comes Shadow. He spotted him, takes him down. There's 2 guys left in there. Shadow gets traded himself. It's going to be Raxi, Shiv, and Monkey. Raxi, in the meantime, got the res on himself. Balak is going to be pushing through. He's the last one staying alive here. He's going to go for the first aid kit, but Monkey's on his tail. He takes him down, and that is GG. It's Vitality taking game number 1. The chicken dinner is absolutely and truly all theirs.
And that's 13 kills as well. That is 260 points, along with the 500 for first place. And so Vitality coming out with, quick math, 760 points to start us off. This is going to be huge for them.
It's absolutely beautiful here. We've been watching some great freaking PUBG, and this is, you know what? I'm super excited that this is the way we start the games. That means that we're gonna have some fantastic stuff going forward, and yeah, let's watch a little bit here. This is your boy Shadow 1K, a Frenchy man, and he seems to be quite happy with his performance, isn't it true, Poro?
Absolutely. Well, come out of the gate with a strong performance like that, 13 quick kills. With Vitality taking the win away from Ghost. Ghost, man, that's some great positioning from them, though.
Yeah.
That was actually wild finish. But Vitality showing that they have been struggling recently. Oh, no, that's like good sportsmanship. Profi coming over there and giving them the handshake. But
they did good, man. They did good. All right, let's see. We're trying to figure out which microphones we're going to use. We're going to be using. I'm going to give Martin mine. Martin, take it away. You're the analyst, man. Take it away.
All right, analyst man. Lot
Greetings.
to analyze there, huh?
Yes, indeed. I mean, I think one of the most important things to see here is Vitality getting a good position, but also their movement was super strong. They had a south position which was really bad. They were contested by 2 or 3 other teams, but they took a good position early, and that literally gave them the potential to move forward coming here.
Absolutely. Well, they had to take a little bit of a roundabout way. They did start off with what we kind of predicted with that southeastern drop path with a whole bunch of teams, but Vitality managing to make their way through. Lothar, what really stood out to you about the way that they managed to make it that far, that transitioning?
For Vitality, I think it was actually not that tough. Like, they started Milta, right? So to shelter, that's actually not that far away. It's like you throw away a rock and it's actually there. So they didn't have to really rotate that much, but the problem was they were being surrounded by all the teams every single time. So I think the awareness, that was something that they really thrive in that area, because they are dropping on Milta since when? Like almost a year now, right?
Yeah, like since the beginning. Since they started, since they got picked up by AAA, actually, they played Milta for half a year plus. So
Yeah.
and people know that. So they usually don't contest it, and they didn't get contested here. So they had a pretty easy beginning and not a long circle. But there were a lot of teams in the south and the eastern side. The western side was completely open.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, it's something that I think it's a mark for a very good team, is that they exactly know how to gatekeep other teams.
Yeah.
There were a lot of shots that were just, like an intimidation factor. They wanted to keep away all the teams from taking the angle. This is what resulted in the superior positioning in the fifth circle, if I'm not mistaken. And have to be said that it looked easy, but it was a long-term setup from the beginning of the game. We can talk now about the north side of the map, where we had like this huge cluster of teams in the one compound, and that was crazy, especially with what FaZe pulled off, right?
Yeah, I mean, FaZe, they survived 2. They stayed in this compound, and they survived 2 other teams by medding, which is a clever move. You get a lot more points by getting 4th instead of 6th, right?
We even saw him try to get the cheeky kill onto Ballot.
And they even knocked one of the ghost guys coming out, and even tried to flush him. But they got him up, and they finished 4th. But they were in a super rough spot. They had to move 3 times towards the circle, and I mean, they crashed this compound, and then the next zone, after they crashed the compound, the next zone actually pushed away from them with 4 other teams, or with 3 other teams, including a 4th team total, including themselves, in that compound. So they had to move out, and you rarely see teams surviving move out of these late compounds. Either it's one team or it's no teams, because other teams gatekeep.
Yeah, I mean, you had Ghost that was in prime position there to gatekeep anybody that made it out of the firefight at that compound, and I think Hexetti knew that, and so rather than giving up that kill to Ghost for essentially free, just decided to try to med it out as much as he could, and then try to sneak the kill in there, but unfortunately was not able to. He was able to get the down, but the res was able to come off. But really interesting point though about that northern edge, and I think we talked about it a little bit while the game was going on. Ghost holding down the bunker area, right? When they had the opportunity to maybe transition underneath the bunker, I think we were looked into the map stream. Actually, you were like, oh yeah, they went under the bunker to kind of make the safer play. Well, and then we started seeing them taking shots. Oh, well, they're on top of the bunker. They're actually holding that. Do you think that maybe going underneath the bunker, not maybe necessarily a safer play or a smarter play? What do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think that would have had an impact on the outcome?
What I said also, I thought they went under because they started moving. Because what you could have done, you could have stayed on top of that ridge and holding the north, because obviously they knew all these teams coming out of the north because they heard all the fighting. So I expected them to stay, but they actually moved, taking a stronger position on the ridge side, so they were ready for the next zone. So they preferred having a stronger position rather than fighting the teams coming out of the north compounds. Maybe it's because they expected that they were going to kill each other, all of them, or they just they preferred that stronger position. But I mean, you also saw it earlier. So they were on the southwestern side of the circle, on the hill,
Right.
north of Milta, where you have this dip north of the garages, and you had 3 or 4 teams there in the south, and they were the first team to cross. They were edging, and then they saw this next circle, and they were the first team to just cross all of the road and go all the way to shelter. One guy ran, 2 guys took a car, and you just see how much they prefer a good strong position in late game.
Yeah, I think
that was all the people in the compound there. This is the blue circle. We got all our props to play with here.
I think the shelter is just an important aspect of this, let's say, game mode, because it feels like a different game with so many points for kills, right? You don't want to be under the shelter and just be waiting for the map to resolve, right? You want to have the kills.
Yeah, we see a couple of the highlights here. We see Vitality Shadow getting these long-range shots against Grubby, really kind of gatekeeping Grubby from coming into that eastern part of the circle, western part of the circle. I'm sorry, and then again, doing the same with TSM. So Vitality coming in hot with their trigger fingers, on point. Do you think that this is going to turn into, a high kill? Vitality coming in here and just coming out and dominating?
I mean, I think that most of these teams, when they win, they will get at least like 10, 12, 14 kills.
Right.
But I really hope we're going to see one of these teams popping off, getting plus 20. I said I expected teams to have between like 16 to 20 when I bet on it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Of course you hope for this. You got the bet going.
I mean, we got the bet going, but there's 64 players. You take 4 out because that's your own. So 60 available kills. It's a lot of kills getting 20. It's a third of the available other teams you can kill, right? But I really hope we're going to see a high kill game because of these higher point systems. And I mean, Vitality is such a team, Ghost is such a team, and FaZe is such a team once they have the position.
Grubby too.
Especially Grubby. And I think we're going to see Grubby. You saw Grubby. They took a fight early. They didn't have to, but they took out one of the Ghost guys, and just because they saw the opportunity, basically, yeah.
Look at
One thing that I really don't hope is that one team will just steamroll everyone.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
We don't want to see the winner until the last game. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I hope that everyone will get some portion of the kills, get some points. We're gonna see aggressive game style, but not like a dominance during day one.
Well, and I think it's based off of game 1 at least. I think you can kind of feel pretty confident in that. I mean, these teams, none of them really got stomped. I mean, Vitality put themselves in a great position, but Ghost was also in a great position. FaZe
they were there before them, so Ghost were there before them, and they keep moving around. And what we see also in the end here, Vitality, when they saw the new circle to pop, they were really fast to take this new position where they had 2 rocks and they had really good angles as well.
Yeah.
Look what I found.
Oh,
hello.
Cameron brought us a friend.
Hello, Shiv.
Come here.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well played.
Absolutely well played.
Are you happy with the first game?
Yeah. Is the mic on?
Did you? So first question.
Hopefully
did you expect to be contested in Milta? No. No.
So you didn't have a situation like that even during the scrims?
We got one team in the scrim, but
Who was that?
All right.
Tainted Minds,
Tainted Minds.
Yeah.
All right.
they got destroyed. So.
Sorry, we're getting our microphone going here.
We're getting him live. So what Shiv said,
hopefully.
they didn't expect to get contested because they were only dropped once, and they literally destroyed them.
Yeah, that was
in the
Tainted
scrims.
Minds,
And that was
right?
Tainted Minds.
So
Yes.
the confidence oozes from you. So I guess
Oozes.
Yeah.
You're oozing.
You're oozing.
You want to be a winner here again, like you want the championship title, right? So, the preparation for tournaments like that is like you have a storyline of dropping Milta. Is there something specific that you trained for this tournament that you might share?
Maybe we play the same as online match, but we have a lot of experience in lines. Most of the teams,
It's an advantage for you guys. All right.
So I asked you yesterday, and I asked you, what would be a satisfying placement at this place here? And you said top 1. And there's other teams that did it. They said it with a more joking voice, but you really want to come here to win, and you can really feel it. And another thing I'm thinking about: did you prepare differently? Did you prepare differently for this tournament than you did for the other tournaments?
I think we had a bad performance in Katowice. We got 8th. We did better in Star Ladder, but we have some issues with the team. We played really bad online, and we had to talk a lot and fix some stuff to perform better here. So that's what we're doing, and we hope we're gonna keep continuing. Like
More wins.
more wins.
Are you gonna beat
There's
the
3 games left today?
and you're gonna get more wins. Perfect. Are you gonna beat the record of the most wins at a LAN?
Yeah.
Okay.
Liquid, we're gonna beat them.
Okay. So you're gonna get 4 wins at this LAN here. Okay. Perfect.
We will.
I like it. Yes.
Hear that,
One
Liquid?
question.
Yeah.
Is the 20 points for kills something that changes your approach to the game?
We need to get as many kills as we can. Like even if they are really far, we try to still knock people because it's a lot of points at the end.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's cool to
definitely.
hear. Maybe that also changes like weapons like SKS and Car 98, right?
Yeah. Not SKS because I don't like it, but
Maybe for the other guys at the team.
not in my team, but maybe in some teams.
Okay. Yeah.
I try to tell them the SKS is trash. They look like I'm,
Yeah, it's
like
really
I'm
bad.
crazy. I hate it.
It's a
I
good
hate
weapon.
the SKS.
I mean, it's 2 versus 2. I think it's strong when it's fully decked, but in a position like Vitality, you don't get an SKS that is fully decked usually, so you can't really assure that you're going to have one teammate dedicated to play it each time because you're not sure they're going to get it fully decked every time. It's so hard to get cheek pad, extended mag, compensator for sniper, and a vertical grip. Yes.
Yeah, we'd rather play M4 or Scarel,
Yeah.
8x. We feel like it's better.
Maybe there should be a change to not allow 8x on the ARs, you know,
Yeah,
in general.
they should change that.
Yeah,
Man.
I think so too. It could be a fun change because I think it'll force more over to having snipers more in the game because even online and other places we don't see the snipers used that much. Yes, sometimes the mini. I saw you guys play the mini. I don't personally. I don't like it. I don't think it's as strong as it should be. I think the SKS is stronger, but again, you don't come into to tournaments like this where you don't have as much time to loot and get a SKS every time, so you don't want to depend on that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you can get a full SKS in
Each game or 9
each
out of 10
game,
games. No.
You can get one, yeah, but not every game.
I think
Alright.
that's it. Do you have something you want to say to the stream, to people watching?
No,
Something you want to thank?
we want
Thank
to,
you.
to thanks every people cheering for us, and yeah, that's it pretty much.
We got a lot of people cheering for you. But guys, we're
I
going
hope
to
so.
take a quick break before we come
Thank you for
right
coming.
back. We're loading up the lobby for the next game. But thank you so much to Mr. Schiff. Congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
game 1 win.
Well
and
played.
as you heard, 4 more to come. 4 more to come. So we'll be right back.